There's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. I guess she flew back from Tajikistan. In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, "If Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa." Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez still here. In Russia, just referring to the war in Ukraine as a war can get you 15 years in the fabulous prisons made famous by some of the world's most famous novels. You think America's evil because we didn't nominate Margot Robbie for an Oscar? Just wait till you get thrown out the window of your very own dream house.
It's amusing how Bill Maher goes after woke celebrities. The talk show host and comedian calls out these unpredictable stars for pushing their opinions on the public while sidestepping the fallout. This one promises to be entertaining, especially since Maher hasn't been taking shots at Hollywood recently.
Try this political message. Vote for me because I hate it here. Now, does America have big problems? Yes, I've often cited the America Sucks list. Things like being 54th in the world in infant mortality behind Cuba, 19th in literacy behind Russia, 72nd in female representation in government behind Iraq. A lot of work to do here. And is it possible for a country to lose itself so much that leaving it is justified? Yes, but we're not there yet, not by a long shot, and we don't need quitters. We need people who will stay and fix it.
Bill Maher kicked off the show with a sharp critique of America's woke politicians and celebrities. He argued that if they aren't willing to do the work themselves, they have no right to lecture the rest of us on improving the nation. Maher points out how easy it is to sit in luxurious homes far from real problems and demand high standards. Talk, however, is cheap. Without action, accountability, or personal sacrifice, you're just another voice in the noise. America is still a great country, Maher said. Powerful yet flawed. Finger-pointing, theatrical campaigns, and endless complaints won't fix anything. Real progress comes from citizens willing to step up, tackle challenges, and take responsibility for their actions instead of waiting for someone else to do the heavy lifting.
The problem isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it. 59% of self-identified liberals say there have been times when they considered leaving America for good, like after NBC canceled The West Wing.
It may sound exaggerated, but it's true. Over the years, countless Americans have publicly threatened to leave the country over the smallest issues. After Donald Trump's election, one of the most talked about trends emerged. Suddenly, celebrities and everyday people alike announced plans to move to Canada, as if staging a bold protest. Of course, few ever followed through. The story doesn't end there. Some have vowed to leave because the country hasn't embraced certain modern philosophies, ideas that often clash with common sense. They dream of escaping instead of rolling up their sleeves to improve the nation they call home. Maher's message is simple. True patriotism isn't about theatrics or threats. It's about standing firm, facing challenges head-on, and working to make America stronger.
I want so badly for every immigrant to come to this country and experience the good life, but somehow it's so terrible you want to leave? And I see conservatives in Texas are talking secession again. They have two bumper stickers in that state. America, love it or leave it, and we're leaving it.
Exactly. People are often confused by the mixed messages celebrities and politicians send to their loyal followers. On one hand, they champion expanding America's borders and praise it as the land of opportunity. Yet in the next breath, they lament their frustrations in the country and threaten to leave if things don't go their way. Think about the contradiction. Why invite people to come to America if it's so terrible? And why threaten to abandon it each election cycle if it's supposedly the land of freedom and opportunity? This isn't principle or passion, it's pure inconsistency. Maher was right. Such hypocrisy only exposes how shallow and self-serving their so-called advocacy really is.
There's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday.
Here comes the funny part. Most of these celebrities are still happily living in America, enjoying the very benefits they claim to despise despite all their dramatic warnings. Deep down, they know there's no better place. America gives them a platform, opportunities, and luxuries unmatched anywhere else. So when Trump won, why all the loud declarations about leaving? The answer is simple. It was never about sincere belief. It was about riding outrage culture, virtue signaling, and optics. Fans see them as daring because of these flashy gestures. But once the cameras are off, they stick around, basking in the fame and fortune only America can offer. Maher exposes the bluff, cutting straight through the pretense. They care far more about their image than any real courage. And that's where the real drama lies.
I guess she flew back from Tajikistan. In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, "If Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa." Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez still here.
That's why celebrities shouldn't lecture the rest of us on politics or morals. Their world is completely different from ours, living in gated homes, flying private jets, and knowing they could build a castle anywhere if things go south. They're insulated by millions of dollars. Meanwhile, everyday Americans face real challenges: rent that eats up paychecks, mortgages that cause sleepless nights, and the constant struggle to put food on the table. The difference is clear. Virtue signaling has no place here. This is about survival. We want to hear from officials who genuinely confront problems affecting our lives, not celebrities fretting over which luxury resort to book next. Put simply, their conversations lack real substance.
Telling Americans things like,
fucked. I think the new American dream is to leave.
I'm 18 years old and I escaped America.
Yeah, you don't have to escape America. That wall we're always debating isn't to keep you in.
This is where the humor really hits. Some of these self-proclaimed social justice warriors act as if North Korea and the United States are interchangeable, as if everyone is trapped here with no freedom to leave. The irony is almost painful because the reality is clear. Nobody is lining up to move to North Korea, start a family, or chase their dreams there. In fact, North Koreans risk everything just to escape. Yet these activists point fingers at the US, the world's most popular destination. Why? Because despite its flaws, America offers more freedom, safety, and opportunity than anywhere else. From Maher's perspective, the point lands perfectly. If it's truly so terrible, why does the whole world keep trying to come here instead of leaving?
I ran a story about the vulnerable minorities who want to flee America, including the author, a gay man trapped in the dystopian homophobic hellscape that is New York City. I wonder if he knows that there are 66 countries where just being gay is a crime. Cute story in the news last month. Burundi's president called on his citizens to stone gay people, and not in the good way. Wow, suddenly the don't say gay law doesn't sound all that bad.
A recent article in the New Republic featured a gay author in New York City describing the city as a homophobic dystopian nightmare and claiming he wants to leave the country. It's worth noting that homosexuality is illegal in 66 countries worldwide. Last month, for example, a story emerged about a leader in another nation encouraging harsh punishment against LGBTQ+ individuals. Suddenly, the struggles described in New York seem a lot less severe in comparison.
Oh, they don't just give you a ticket for parking in the rear. You can get the death penalty for it. In China, they have the death penalty for almost 50 crimes. And in 13 countries, atheism is punishable by death, and 61 impose restrictions on women's clothing, so bring a scarf. According to Amnesty International, paramilitary groups killed the government's critics in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, and arbitrary detentions are widespread in Cuba, Ecuador, El Salvador, Nicaragua. If you're wondering how that's just like no cash bail, it's not.
Let's be honest, the LGBTQ plus community finds real refuge in America. Here, they're safer, more respected, and more accepted than almost anywhere else in the world. Beyond media visibility, political representation, and legal protections, they can live their lives in ways unimaginable in many other nations. They have legal rights, supportive communities, and platforms to speak out. So why all the talk about leaving? Where exactly could they go for more freedom? Even Europe, often seen as progressive, still struggles with prejudice, violence, and restrictive laws. Despite its flaws, America remains one of the safest and most empowering countries for LGBTQ plus people. Maher's point lands perfectly. Everything they need is already here.
Referring to the war in Ukraine as a war can get you 15 years in the fabulous prisons made famous by some of the world's most famous novels. You think America's evil because we didn't nominate Margot Robbie for an Oscar? Just wait till you get thrown out the window of your very own dream house.
That's why roughly half the world dreams of moving to the United States. People come from everywhere, drawn by the freedoms our country offers. The ability to speak your mind without fear of government retaliation, to choose a career, chase opportunities, and with effort, even achieve financial independence. Millions risk everything to reach the U.S., chasing the promise it represents. Yet paradoxically, many locals fail to recognize these benefits. They criticize the very country that offers them more than almost anywhere else and complain incessantly, like a spoiled child tossing aside expensive toys because they didn't get a new one for Christmas, blind to the privilege they already enjoy every day. Much of today's activism has become more theatrical than substantive, as Bill Maher clearly showed in his takedown of the woke mob. While dramatic protests, destroying artwork, burning flags, or blocking highways make for striking visuals, they rarely address the real issues. Politicians and celebrities who lecture from their ivory towers, criticizing America while benefiting from its freedoms and wealth, expose the true hypocrisy. Those same protesters disrupt the roads that countless Americans rely on to get to work, pay their bills, and put food on the table. Maher reminded viewers that real change comes not from empty spectacle or chasing social media attention, but through thoughtful commitment and concrete action. Despite America's flaws, people still struggle to get in, let alone leave, a fact that alone reveals the inconsistency of those who exploit its privileges while claiming otherwise. That wraps up today's video. For more content like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.